Hello, Mr. Hardy here, and in this video I would like to teach you about personification. So, what is personification? Well, personification is when you give a human quality or characteristic to something that is not human, to a non-human object. For example, in this sentence, the tree danced in the wind. I think we can all agree that a tree is not human. However, the verb danced is a human action. Humans can dance. So by making the tree dance, we have given a human quality, dancing, to a non-human object, a tree. Here's another example. The tree's branches reached out to grab me. When you walk in the woods, trees can't stretch their branches out further to reach you, whereas a human can stretch its arm out. Likewise, the tree's twigs and leaves can't form fingers on a hand to grab you, whereas a human hand with its fingers can form a fist and grab people. So this human ability to reach and this human ability to make a fist and grab something has been applied and given to the non-human tree and its branches, and that is personification. Now, in those two examples, this is a physical action, the physical ability to dance, the physical ability to reach out and grab. But you can also give non-physical qualities, such as human emotions or human feelings to a non-human object. So continuing with the tree, in the final sentence, the tree mourned the death of its partner. So imagine a forest full of trees, and a human maybe has cut down one tree for firewood. The other trees are mourning the death of that tree. Now, do trees feel the emotion of mourning? Probably not, I don't think so. Whereas humans do mourn. When a human loses a close family member or friend, we feel sad, we may cry over them and mourn. So here, the human emotion, the human quality of mourning and grieving, has been given to a non-human object, a tree. So that is what personification is. I've written a paragraph here with a few examples of personification. Can you spot them? As I sat facing the sea, I noticed the waves marching closer and closer to me. Squinting, I focused in on the movement of the vast sapphire expanse of water. Yes, the tide was definitely crawling towards me. It was moving with menace, each crest stretching its foamy white fingers out to grab me and drag me to the depths of Poseidon's bed. So I'll just give you a second to maybe pause the video and identify the examples of personification I've used. Hopefully you've zoomed in on some of these words. I noticed the waves marching closer. Waves can't march, whereas humans, particularly in an army, can march. So I'm giving the wave a human movement here, marching. The tide was definitely crawling towards me. Again, water can't crawl, it can't form little arms and legs of droplets of water and crawl along, whereas a human baby definitely can crawl. So I'm giving a human movement to a non-human ocean. The ocean was moving with menace. Menace is when you want to harm someone else, you want to do evil. And this is a human emotion. So the ocean is water. Water doesn't have feelings. It can't want to help someone or harm someone, whereas humans do have feelings. Humans can decide if they want to help or harm other people. So here I'm giving the human emotion menace to a non-human object, the sea. And again, you might recognize the verbs, stretching and grabbing from the previous example with a tree. These are also human actions that I've given to the non-human ocean. So, you can spot personification, you know what it is. I'm going to give you some tips on how to write good personification, and then I'll give you some tasks to go and practice. Personification tip number 1. You need to decide on the mood of your sentence. Personification is a really powerful creative writing technique, and it sets up the feeling, the atmosphere in your story. For example, if I'm writing a story and I want to create a sinister and evil mood, then I might say the shadows on the wall creep menacingly. By using the verb creep, which is an action humans can do, and the adverb menacingly, menace being an emotion humans can have, I have made the shadows seem evil, and I'm creating an atmosphere for a story where evil things can happen. But imagine the same shadows on the same wall, but I want to create a happy atmosphere, a joyful mood. I could write, the shadows dance freely. Again, I'm using a verb, dance, which humans can do, and I'm using an adverb, freely. Feeling free is an emotion humans can have. But by carefully choosing my verb and my adverb, when I personify the shadows, I can determine whether I'm going to create a sinister, evil atmosphere for my story, or a happy, joyful atmosphere for my story. So think of the mood you want to achieve before you write your personification. Personification tip number 2, avoid obvious cliched personifications. I must have read 100 times over my life, the wind whispered. According to everyone, the wind whispers. So can you mix it up? Can you do something else? The wind laughed, screamed, sighed, cackled, cried. Some other human quality other than whispering. Personification tip number 3. Use the personification to reveal something about the object. So personification is when you give a human quality to a non-human object. Use that personification to reveal the nature of the object. For example, if my story is based around flowers and I want to make the flowers come across as strong, I could use the personification, the sunflower stood to attention. Sunflowers don't stand, whereas humans can stand, so that's the personification. And by making them stand to attention, it makes it look like these sunflowers are soldiers in an army, standing tall and upright and proud, with their shiny uniform and badges. However, if I take the same sunflower and I wanted to reveal to the reader that this sunflower was weak or maybe sick or unwell, I could write that the sunflower keeled over. Now the verb keeled means to double over or bend over, or sometimes even fall over. So here the sunflower is doing the human action of bending over because it's in pain, or maybe falling over because it's lost its balance. And this makes the sunflower come across as quite weak and vulnerable. So when you personify a non-human object, think about what you want to reveal about the object, and then choose your personification wisely. There is such a thing as an extended personification, and that is when you find multiple points between the object and the human. For example, the car gurgled to life and crawled out of the driveway. Shifting into gear, the engine screamed to life, and the vehicle ran off down the highway with its exhaust singing, evidently pleased with itself. Gurgling is a noise a baby makes, so I'm comparing this car to a human baby, personification. Again, with this idea that the car is a baby, I've got the verb crawled. Crawling is something humans do. Cars don't crawl, they roll or they drive. So I'm being specific, using a specific verb to give the car a human quality. The engine screamed. Again, engines don't scream, humans can scream, personification. And the vehicle ran off down the highway. Again, vehicles don't run, they roll or drive. Running is a distinctly human verb. Same with singing, and same with the emotion of feeling pleased with itself. So here I've taken the car and I've given it many different human qualities, some physical, some emotional, and I've done it over a sustained period of writing, and we can call that extended personification. So how are you going to practice your personification? Task 1, I'd like you to write 2 examples of personification that give a flower a human quality. If you want a challenge, one of your personification examples could be physical, and the second one could be emotional. Task 2, there's a very cliched personification. The sun smiled down on us. I must have read this 100 times. According to all my students, the sun is smiling. I want you to change the verb smiled. I want you to give the sun a different human action. Task 3, I want you to try writing an extended personification about a house and a human. So think about all the ways a house could physically behave like a human, or a house could emotionally feel like a human, and write me an extended personification, 2 or 3 sentences, comparing the house to the human. And task 4, I'd like you to write a paragraph describing a mountain using personification. I've been purposely vague here. You could use 1 personification, you could use 3 or 4 examples, I don't mind. Think about the mountain. Think about what mood you want to create. Is it a sinister mountain? Is it a happy mountain? Is it a weak mountain? Is it a strong mountain? And make sure your personification examples achieve the mood you want to create, or the nature of the mountain you want to express to the reader. Okie dokie. If you found this video helpful for your knowledge about personification, please give it a like. Please feel free to subscribe to my Mr. Hardy YouTube channel so you can learn about all the different creative writing techniques we will explore. And if you want to share your examples of personification in the comments for me to read, please feel free to do so if you're comfortable to do that. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you on the next one.